air pollution is a very big issue. Just winter starts and this air pollution start interfering in our lives, like anything, whether it is from the stubble burning or whether from the vehicles and all that four things happens. And many times schools being closed, traffic issues, lots of things are there. So I think you must be having some good ideas, some innovative ideas on how to we can go and deal about this. So over to you, sir. I welcome you again. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Sandeep Gupta. Now, I request to please start your session.
So we'll explore the term air. So the air is basically a blanket of gases that contains various gases like nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and other toxic and trace gases, along with water vapor. So this air is very useful in survival of the human being. Its use can be described as it is used to maintain the water cycle. It is used to maintain the pollination of the crops. It is used an important driver of conducting medium of the sound. It is used for the maintaining of the earth temperature. So we all know that the pollution is basically the unwanted change around human being in any sphere that may cause a severe health hazard for human being, plant, animal, etc. So the definition which I have written here, it is the introduction of particulate matters which can be categorized, and the total presentation is basically focused on the particulate matter. So the particulate matter could be suspended particulate matter, could be respiratory suspended particulate matter. So their presence in the atmosphere, in the air, along with biological molecules, other harmful gases in the atmosphere that cause disease, death to human being, damage to other living organisms like animal, plants, etc., and damage to the food crops and their natural and man-made environment. So this is basically definition of the air pollution. So how the air pollutants enter into the atmosphere? So this slide is try to demonstrate that part. So if you see, the sources of the pollutants can be described in numerous manner. So one of the way to define the sources are here, that is the outdoor sources and indoor sources. So the pollution is also in a same manner, the outdoor air pollution as well as indoor air pollution. I think this is the outdoor air pollution. So how the outdoor air quality get deteriorated? So I am going to demonstrate that part. So there are also this type of sources further sub-classified into various natural source and man-made source. So you can see here the volcanic eruption that contribute in sulfur oxide and CO2 gases that tend to the outdoor ambient air quality. Okay, and through lightning, various nitrogen gases get converted, participate in nitrogen cycle. Along with nitrogen cycle, they also contribute in air pollution. But the natural air pollution is in a cyclic manner that it can produce and it can be reused again and again. So it cannot be too much concerned about the air pollution. But the man-made sources, in which one type of the presentation of this source is point source, area source, and line source. So point source are those sources in which the pollutants are released from known route and location. For example, if the thermal power plants are operating, they can produce excessive fly ash, excessive particulate matter, more than 50 mm size particulate matter, and we can easily find out that the the point source of this particulate matter is this thermal power plant. So we can easily find out the route and location of this particulate matter. As well as when we will discuss the area source, so these are the stationary source basically, and through which n number of pollutants get mixed up and enter and contributes in outdoor air quality. While we are when we are discussing about this line sources, so these line sources are basically mobile sources through which two or more region air quality get adjoined. Okay, so this is the line sources, and there are also number of ways through which we can describe these sources, but ultimately there are various channels through which the air pollutants enter into the surrounding of the air, surrounding of the human being. So if we will, next part of the source is indoor air pollution. So indoor air pollution is basically the air quality. Sometimes we can find that the our indoor air quality is so much polluted that we feel better outside than inside the home. So there are various ways. For example, the garage is here, through which the engine is during switching on, switching off of the car engine or motor vehicle engine, we produce carbon monoxide, various paints, solvent, etc. contribute in indoor air quality, and it alters the normal functioning of the human body. So next part of this indoor air pollution is basically bedroom. So when we just cleaning our bedroom, we just find that extreme fine suspended particulate matter, some bacteria, some viruses, and those who have pet at their home, they also find some pet genders here. So ultimately, there are also various sources through which our indoor air quality also affected, in which bedroom, atactic regions, then garage, kitchen, living room, bathroom, they all contribute in the air pollution sources or create numerous of air pollutants, and that ultimately have adverse effect on human being or the person who are living in that area. So the major air pollutant, if you will see here, so the major air pollutants that are extremely concerned, they are VOC, volatile organic compounds, carbon monoxide, suspended particulate matter, along with hydrogen sulfide, sulfur dioxide, etc. So if you will see, there are various sources burning, okay, that is categorized in agricultural category or haze category. So when we burn the biomass which is received from agriculture and they contribute in haze, they also produce high amount of suspended particulate matter, carbon monoxide, volatile organic. Through coal mining, which considered in the category of mining and quarrying, they produce suspended particulate matter, sulfur dioxide, NOx, and VOC. And there are various categories like industries, petroleum refinery, transport, power generation, and indoor household activity that ultimately initiate the emission of suspended particulate matter and other pollutants. So I'm not going to detail too much in this slide. I'm just moving forward because our aim is to mitigate the air pollution that is through suspended particulate matter. So when these excessive particulate matter enters into the surrounding through various sources like smoke, road dust, other particles emitted directly into the atmosphere, as well as the particulate matter coming from other sources, when the gaseous pollutants, because you all know that the particulate matter are hygroscopic in nature, they absorb water molecules or moisture content from the surrounding, and when the gaseous pollutants are present, they react with each other, and in presence of humidity, the particulate matter size get increases, and their sizes get increases that alter the visibility of the normal region. So This type of particulate matter that alter the visibility, it is named as haze pollution, that moves from jurisdiction of the one country to the jurisdiction of the another country. It means it is transboundary and it travels from one country to another country. Okay. So through particulate matter, this haze occurs too much, and particulate matters are coming from various sources. Okay. So one of the source of this haze or the particulate matter is basically burning of forest fire, burning of biomass. So forest, we all know that we human beings are using, we are, you know, trying to uh, take too much natural resources, but during taking this, we are exhausted it. And sometimes we use such activity in which this burning occurs, and the forest fires burns naturally as well as through activity. So when the biomass burns, it produces excessive uh, particulate matter in the surrounding, and sometimes we hear that the flight cannot move, okay, due to the excessive haze in these regions. And another cause, which is very serious, uh, just initiation of the winter, which is the burning of agricultural crops in our northern region, Punjab and Haryana districts. The farmers utilize this practice in which they burn all the paddy crops, residue of the crop, and just try to dispose of, and they use this burning activity. And this biomass burning ultimately occurs in a too much manner that it contributes haze pollution in northern India, which we all can explore the problems. Because I live in NCR region, I can easily find out the excessive emergency situation that the people are facing due to this agricultural burning practice that contribute to in particulate matter emission. One of the other important way through which the particulate matter are released, it is the land clearing fire. Just they throw the fire, and due to the ground fire, what happens? The biomass burns slowly, and this produce excessive haze or air pollution. Sometimes we can also find that the disposal of the wood waste is just thrown outside, and when it is thrown outside, it is anaerobically digested, and the particulate matter which are formed after this degradation, they just blow in the air. And the last one, which is the solid waste burning, due to the ignorance of the human being, what happens? This precious raw material, which is located at the wrong place and can be converted into some useful substance, is used, is mitigate just due to the burning. So this burning produces excessive particulate matter, furans, and dioxins, which are carcinogenic in nature, and ultimately alter the normal pattern of the human being, normal life cycle of the human being. So why this burning happens? This is the major question. Why the people are so ignorant that they cannot use certain techniques? So some idea that I have found that one of the major reason is that the people, the economy of our country is not up to that level that each and every persons are used, and you can say used in certain manner that they can afford mechanical and land clearing devices. Okay, so if we have certain land clearing devices, some mechanical methods, then what we'll do, we will not use for fire method, which is a traditional tool when the population are less and the biomass production was also very less. But now the population is high and the biomass production is also very high. And if still the fire is used, it will cause, this haze or pollution, air pollution. Another one is there is no other very known method to dispose of the wood. So the wood is thrown outside, the wood waste is thrown outside, and it is used to burn. And when it is burning, it is also biomass. It will also cause haze or particulate matter. And the most important one, in developing countries, the people are not too much aware about the law. That's why there are no fear of the prosecution. They don't have any fear about the this illegal activity. They don't think that this is illegal. They are just try to dispose of. They are think that they are this is the general method that we are burning this. But what happen if all the people around around us will use this activity? Then it will cause air pollution excessively. Another one is that I have found that in our country we have a very less and ineffective fire detection system. We don't have good fire detection system. That's why this fire occurs and just the burning of biomass occurs. Ineffective response system. Once the fires occurs, then there is very less response, very slow response. That's why this burning is going on continuously and expanded again and again for a long region. And the most important one is during the year, 1 or 2 times in our country, we will face dry season, normally dry season. Sometimes this dry season extended and get converted into severe dry season. And during this severe dry season, the leaves are very, dry, and it can be excessively prone for forest and land fire. So these are the various way. This is the various causes, various reason that the people are trying to burn their waste or their biomass. So when this biomass burns, it produces particulate matter and causes haze. So I am showing here 3 type of images, in which one image, which is plume haze, is here. You can see there is a impairment in the visibility here. Then another one is uniform haze, in which the complete sight have been hindered, and this is the layered haze, in which the upper part is clear, but the lower part of the valley is highly impaired vision. Okay, so this haze or visibility alteration is due to the meteorological region of this area. So due to the various meteorological factors, plume haze occurs, uniform haze occurs, and layered haze occurs. So what is basically haze is doing? So there are 2 phenomena in our atmosphere which is going on. One is scattering, another one is absorption. So when the light is scattered through sun rays, okay, and the path is very much clear, there are no particulate matter, no carbon, no elemental carbon. So what happens? The light get less scattered. The scattering of the light due to the particulate matter is very less, okay, because the particulate matter are not present here. So the reflection of light occurs and it reaches to the sight of the seer. And absorption process, what happens when there are certain particulate matter, then they absorb the reflected light. So during both the scattering and the absorption, what happens? The extinction of the light occurs. Means if we have excessive carbon substances which absorb the light, as well as dust particle in this region, then what happens? The scattering is too much. Okay, the reflected light gets scattered. Okay, and the remaining light get absorbed. So very less light contribute in reflection and reaches to the seer's eyes. Therefore, we see a hazy situation and we found the extinction of the light. So light get extinct. Okay, so I am showing here the 4 images through which the extinction occurs. So this extinction can be measured in terms of deciviews. So here one image is on the 0 deciview and 10 millimeter inverse extinction, which occurs in the range of 391 visual range. We all know that this is the visual range. So this here we can see long range can be easily visible, but when the visibility gets reduced, means we see the availability of the particulate matter that reduces the this deciview index, that increases the deciview index 0 to 9 deciview. The extinction of the light also increases 24 millimeter inverse, and the visibility get reduced up to 160 kilometer. So you can see, you can visualize very quite comparatively lesser here, but as the deciview get increases here, 14 deciview and 19 deciview, you can see the visibility get altered. Once the 19 deciview occurs, then the visibility is too much less, okay, because it now, this due to the availability of particulate matter, this reaches to the 60 kilometer of visual region. So this availability of the particulate matter in the surrounding, they alter the visibility pattern. So there are 5 particulate matters or the particles which are can be considered as the primary pollutant as well as the secondary pollutant. So they contribute in basically increasing the deciview index as well as reduces the visibility index. So they are the organic substance, sulfates, nitrates, soil that help in scattering of the light, through which if these substance or the particles are available, then they will scatter too much the light, and the light get less reflected to the seer's eyes. Therefore, they participate in haze or smog formation. While the presence of elemental carbon, which are released from various emission sources, automobile sources, various industries, so they help to absorb the light. Once the light gets absorbed, very less light is available to reach to the seer's eyes. Therefore, it also contributes in the extinction of the light. So this slide is basically showing various sources of these 5 particles. Like carbon is emitted directly through biomass burning or agricultural burning, which is very common practice in our India, and organics. So I'm sorry, organics. So the organic substances are released from various plants like eucalyptus tree, okay, through dry cleaning methods. They produces organic substances. Sulfates are removed from released from power plant or oil refinery activity. Nitrates are released from power plants, smelters, etc. Soil, which are released from the agricultural and soil, road dust, etc. So through these 5 particles, they enter into our surrounding and contribute in haze or smog production. So this slide is basically it is a reference of 2012, which shows that the death rate in the total population. So in the total population, the death occurs highly due to ischemic cardiac heart disease and through stroke. If the pollutants are too much in our surrounding, they adversely affect our circulatory system as well as they contribute in strokes. So various research are going on in this field, that how the human beings are adversely affected by these particulate matter. So the death rate of index of 2010 shows that the maximum death occurs due to cardiac failure as well as stroke. Okay, and the AQI index, which is I have taken from the site of the CPCB, it is also showing that the 2022 data, 65 days were satisfactory, 95 days were moderate air quality, and 130 days had very poor air quality, and 60 days had very poor air quality while 6 days had very severe air quality. So if this severe air quality is like this and the awareness get reduced, then this air quality index is you know showing various furious data in coming days. So if we have problems, we have too much problems, and we all deals with the technocrats, we all deals with the technology management. So now I am going to discuss how can we control this uh, haze pollution, air pollution, or the particulate matter pollution. So if the air pollution is controlled, it can be categorized in 5 major categories. One is the source correction method. The pollutants are released from certain source. We will just correct at the source. We will not and we will not wait that the pollutant will emit in the surrounding and they will cause secondary air pollutant and then they will adversely affect human beings. So we will correct it at the site. So one way is source correction method. Another way is pollution control equipment. Okay, and the pollution control equipment can be further divided into gaseous control as well as particulate matter control, diffusion of the pollutant in air, vegetation, and zoning. So these 5 points I will discuss very shortly here. So in source correction method, we further subclassified here. We will just substitute the raw material. So if nowadays you all know the vehicular pollution is going on day by day, that's why government takes a serious steps that it bans the 10 years old diesel vehicles in NCR region. So major concern is that of the government is that they convert, they will just switch to conventional contaminant fuel to the recently developed less polluted fuel. Means we are trying to switch from fossil fuel based engine to LPG and LNG, liquid petroleum gas or liquid nitrogen gas or CNG, which are quite less polluted. We'll use low sulfur fuel in thermal power plant. Okay, so previously we'll use bituminous coal or peat coal in power plants, but nowadays just due to the NGT, we'll use anthracite coal to just to reduce the emission of the pollutant in the our air. The process modification, other which is considered in source correction method. So we will just modify the process. So what happens if we will use the coal which is wetted before burning? So before burning, if the coal is wetted, it significantly reduce the fly ash in emission. And another way is modification of the process is if air intake is adjusted of the boiler furnace, then excess fly ash emission can be reduced at the power plant. Another way source correction is modification of the existing equipment. So what we will do, we will just modify the our equipment. So smoke, carbon monoxide, and fumes can be reduced by replacing open hearth furnaces with controlled basic oxygen furnace or electric furnace. So nowadays the furnaces which are used, which are working on the principle of burning of fossil fuel, now it is switching to electric furnace. Now next part is the petroleum refineries, where loss of hydrocarbon vapors from storage tank, it can be reduced by designing the storage tank in a manner that it will float, it have a floating roof cover, and this roof cover have pressurizing mechanism on the storage part, so that this hydrocarbons, which are the major source of volatile organic compounds, get reduced. And the maintenance of the equipment, which is also is a part of source correction method. So what in it, what we are doing, due to the poor maintenance of the equipment, the leakage occurs in the duct, pipe, valves, and pump. So the emission of the pollutant due to the negligence of human being, it can be minimized. by the routine checkup of the seal, gaskets, and leakage. So by this four major methods, we can control the pollutant at the source. Next part is the pollution control equipment. We will install certain pollution control methods, equipment at the polluting site, and these polluting site uh, release the emission in form of particulate matter and gaseous contaminant. So the particulate matter can be minimized by the gravitational settling chamber, cyclonic separator, fabric filter, electrostatic precipitator, and wet scrubber, which are further divided into spray tower, venturi scrubber, and cyclonic scrubber. While the gaseous contaminants can be controlled by the wet absorption method and dry absorption method. So in this gravitational chamber, what it is, a rectangular gas chamber through which the gas enters from one end and exit from another end. The gas enters from this end, okay, and this end, and exit from this end. In it, what happened? Suddenly, the rectangular the volume of this rectangular chamber get increased. That reduces the velocity up to 0.3 meter per second, and through this method we are able to check the particulate matter of 50 minimum size, and these particulate matters obeys Stokes law and get settled at different tray through which the particulate matter are recovered and utilized in fly ash. Okay, and this fly ash can be used in cement formation, brick formation, road formation, etc. Another one is the reduction of the particulate matter is done through cyclonic separator. So the cyclonic separator is basically, in it the gas is moved in a with very high velocity and in a spinning manner. Once the gas moves in a spinning manner, it produces centrifugal force through which all the particulate matter move outside and get settled at the hooper side, and after considerable interval, what happens? By this way, we also remove this particulate matter from this. So these are the various methods through which we just tackle or combat the air pollutant from the emission, and because I am discussing here with the agriculturalist scientist, so this is very important that certain vegetations, the implanting of the certain vegetation is also very helpful in the reduction of the gaseous pollutant. So as we all know that the carbon dioxide is absorbed and oxygen is released through the photosynthesis process, and in this photosynthesis process, some plants are very good to absorb the carbon monoxide, and these are the Coleus blumeri, Ficus variegata, Fasciculus vulgaris, okay, and this species of the Pinus, Quercus, Juniperus, and Vitis, they also help to metabolize the nitrogen oxide. So certain species like Coleus blumeri is used to absorb carbon monoxide, while certain species of this Ficus and Juniperus is used to metabolize the nitrogen oxide. So the crux of this presentation is basically if you will see the pollution, it is multi-stakeholder involvement, because many people are involved in this pollution. Therefore, there are certain way through which we can control air pollution. It is consistent enforcement of existing law. It is very useful that we should develop alternative methods of land preparation method, like we will just clear the land without any fire. We will just invest more and more effective fire response system. We invest in R&D of for air pollution related to technology. So this is all through which we can utilize the resources, and we can we can just by enhancing our awareness, the human being can control the air pollution, because it is very important. If we will not aware right now, then the existence of the human species will be challenged on this planet Earth. So thank you very much. Thank you all organizers that you have patiently listened me. I am switching to organizer side. Thank you, sir.